And of course, I
Okay.
didn't bring something easy to eat. I brought soup, so it's like slow to eat. But
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. It was my fault. I guess I got everything mixed up and didn't realize that I did. I must have just added in a day on my calendar that.
Yeah, no, I think we were on every other week, but anyways, it's fine. So that's why it wasn't on my radar today, but my head's a little busy trying to catch up from yesterday, but how's everybody?
Good. Amanda looks like she's cooking or something in the kitchen. We're all in different places. I'm in Midland at my dad's, so.
I like the background, Meg, with the brick. That's cool.
It's just that same little room, but I'm turned around.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a sunroom porch sort of thingy with stuff. I'm on a pool table. I'm sitting with the computer. I'm actually kneeling at the pool table, so whatever works.
So does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, let's just dive in with anything that y'all are having issues with, any questions that we can help you with while we're here.
My heels have been hurting a little bit.
In the back or in the middle, or?
Like the back of my heels of my feet. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because my floor is kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could cause that. But you find your plantar fasciitis, you could take a ball and roll it on the bottom of your foot like a tennis ball, like the same ball that we've used on your hips to release that. So that can help. It's like the heel gets tugged at that plantar fasciitis type.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else? Trying to think. Oh, I usually don't feel this way, but I woke up this morning and I just wanted to stretch really big. And before I was fully awake, I actually kind of did like a huge cat stretch. Mm-hmm. And I felt it all pulling my stomach muscles and stuff, but I didn't know if that was okay. It was just something that was like instinctive that I did before I realized. It felt really good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not doing it all the time, and if you felt the need to like get up and stretch, if you feel your stomach bulging, then you want to minimize that. But
I didn't feel any bulging. It was just, I think I got curled around my daughter because I was sleeping with her, and so I kind of got curled up around her, and it's like,
you just needed to open up. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, really, tissues that get tensed or loaded, we call it, that actually helps them relax more when you load them. So I don't think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
As long as you're not like
scary when you feel that stretch.
I was like, did I just open everything back up again? And I thought, no, you just did it half asleep. I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah.
But I'm
sure it was fine.
Yeah. How's your breathing? Like when you're doing stuff, like holding breath wise and your diaphragm and everything, how's that feel?
I think it's good. I notice myself more. I'm more aware. So I've been trying to, as I'm holding my daughter, make sure she's not holding her breath either, because we've noticed in the last couple of weeks, she turned 6 months old a couple of days ago, but she's been, when you're holding her out front, like facing front, she starts holding her breath. And she'll turn red and get real like hunched up. And if you turn her back around again and hold her like that, she starts breathing again.
Unless you have pressure on her diaphragm or her abdomen, she just feels choked or something.
That's what we kind of thought, because maybe the way we were holding her, I don't know. But I've been watching her breathing too, so been aware of mine and hers. And I think we're both able to keep going. So.
Yeah, theirs is more automatic until they have that first fall on their dupa, and then they could already start to have problems. And it's like I don't even know what age we end up having changes that can be permanent later. So probably the first fall we take.
I'm always telling Bree, hey, let's get off the couch, get on the floor. Come on, let's sit on the floor. Let's get off out of all these seat chairs all the time and sitting, all the time, and just trying to get her to do different things. My husband was like, oh, we need to get her this chair for the living room. I said, no, I don't want to get her a chair like that. She can sit on the floor. It's just fine. And then my aunt and uncle ended up buying that chair for her into her house. And I was like, oh no. So I try to watch her alignment too. And like, she wants to wear heels sometimes. So I let her wear these little heels every now and then. So I try to teach her all the time, hey, we're not, we don't wear these. And I say, how come? She goes, it's not good for our bones, Mom.
That's
Right.
cute.
Yeah, we just do this, just a little bit. So yeah, learning all this, we can help our kiddos too. But it's a really, in our culture, we do it so much that it is difficult.
Yes.
It really is. There was something I was going to ask related to breathing. I'm trying to think what it was. Must have not been terribly important, or I remember it. I don't know. I was just trying to keep more on top of my breathing, and I noticed that I can make my ribs come out, but mine kind of come up and then out. There's a significant upward portion to it, but then they do come out. Like if I put the rubber band around, or not rubber band.
Out this way. You just don't want them to go this way. So they are supposed to expand when you breathe, because the lungs have to go somewhere. So it creates this like this way and this way.
Well, the fronts of them are coming up though. Is that?
I mean, the front's coming up.
Like the ribs that are in front, they kind of move upward a little bit.
It depends on what a little bit is. I mean, if you're doing, as long as you're not like if you're overextending your back, then they're going to pop up. But if you're,
I guess I don't mean up, maybe out. Maybe
yeah,
out.
Out is okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything's kind of coming out.
Yeah. I think we've used this term a 360 degree like expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the whole circle is coming out, and then it comes back together when you exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm doing it right.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet you are.
The way to do it, so I think that's probably it.
Do you, like, if you're laying down and you do it, is it better the way that you feel it? Because sometimes it can grab, and then when you stand up, you can see if you're doing it. Okay.
I do the exact same thing laying down, and my belly does come up. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's good to do in more than one position, because then it just gives you more, because you're going to be in different positions at different times. Sometimes maybe you don't take a breath until you lay down in bed, so you should be able to know how to do it in bed. You should know how to do it sitting up, different positions. So.
Are we supposed to be breathing with our diaphragm like all the time?
No. It moves automatically. The brainstem, which is the lower part of the brain, that is where like respiration and heart rate and all those things that you're not even thinking about are taking place automatically. So while you're doing daily stuff, it's kicking in no matter what. Now, when you breathe from the diaphragm, that takes brain up here. So instead of lower centers, it's higher brain. So then you have to stop and be mindful. So mindfulness is actually expanding it deeper. So your diaphragm's moving as you're doing things during the day. It's just moving bigger amounts when you do the breathing the right way. So
Go ahead.
Is good. Yeah. What, Olivia?
If we, I had to take my headphones out, so I don't know if I missed some of what you said. But when we move more and we're in the correct alignment, when we're breathing throughout the day, the diaphragm will get used more. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the other thing I was going to say, is that if you're practicing this, then you're not getting that restriction, or if you're sitting better, you're not going to have that limitation that the diaphragm can't move. So the idea is that when you practice it, then it will move better throughout the day, but it's not going to move as much as it does when you do that big deep breath, that mindful breath.
Okay, because I was trying to do it while I washed dishes and stuff, and I realized I was kind of feeling dizzy and lightheaded, and I thought, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this like 24/7. I don't think I can, because I'm feeling like I'm going to pass out.
Yeah, well, you might have been going too fast, and that's where sometimes you have to stop what you're doing and not do it with another task.
Mm-hmm.
You might have been doing it to get it done, or like just not be counting how many seconds you're doing it, and then you're probably hyperventilating, and that could make you feel that way.
Yeah, I felt like I was either too much or too little oxygen was getting up here, and so.
Yeah, I would do it laying down or sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, holding that alignment is going to help your breath be better throughout the day. So it's not like you're hunched over or if your ribs are up, it's not doing what it needs to be doing correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a new computer. My speakers are sounding funny.
We can hear you. That's making me want to take a nap, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at my dad's. I'm in Midland, and so I'm like, I had to get in a position for lying. Yeah, I am. Man, hey, girly.
What's that?
I said, how are you?
It's a morning. They're loud this morning, and they don't want to get along.
Just shut the door. I was coming.
So I just want to hide in a corner.
Oh.
But but I was telling Olivia last week, I can finally do lunges, and I feel it in all the right spots, which is so exciting.
Okay.
But I did notice, like, when I'm rolling, like, my hamstrings and stuff, which tend to be really, really tight, and my quads, like, I can feel sore. Like, I've done a really big workout, even though I haven't done, like, the workout, I can feel sore from, like, releasing the muscles.
And yeah, you're releasing, you're putting things in your bloodstream. I mean, you're getting the lymph system moving. That's all good. Think about, like, when you sit on a bike, how you feel. You feel sore, so.
Yeah.
So as you do it, it'll improve.
I had a friend that told me this week she's going to school for some nursing stuff, but it kind of goes with everything that we've talked about. She was talking about how they did a study that, and one group did visualization of visualizing their muscles building. And that group actually built like 13% more muscle than the other group, just by doing everything the same and then adding visualization to muscle building.
Because if you think that you're doing it, the message is getting there better.
Yeah, which makes me think about the breathing too. Like, we don't have to be doing it if we're thinking about picturing our diaphragm moving as we breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole making it happen thing.
Yep,
That's awesome.
that's a really good point.
Yeah, that reminds me of when they were doing studies back then when they had, I don't know if you've heard these studies of weightlifters and things and how muscle testing, how they were practicing muscle testing, and they would put something in an envelope and they didn't know that would make their bodies weak, and they would hang on to it and their body wouldn't do as good. They do.
Yeah, that's for like sensitivities, like food sensitivities and things like that. So
Yeah.
You have a negative association with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more of how we are, connected.
Our brains are amazing. There's so much happening. We have no idea, and we're not even tapping into probably 10% of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good visual even for me, because sometimes we can be working out just to, focus in on everything else. But if we focus on what we're doing just for a little bit,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it'd be good.
It's my favorite thing about homeschooling is brain studies.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Just the connections that we have to make.
Yeah.
In the beginning before we can do anything else.
Do what, Janine?
Psychologist.
Yeah. So you're feeling it in the glutes, which is awesome.
Yes.
She kept telling me that, so that's really good.
I'm excited. I've never fully felt it. Then it moved to the quads the second or third day, but I was like, well, this is just progression. But the fact that I felt it in my glutes and in, like, I can't say it was the hamstring because it was kind of like the side, but it was where the glutes followed down. It was just cool to feel it all.
Good. Good. And make sure, Janine, I'm because I was reminding my stepmom since I'm at my dad's about, check your hip mobilities and stuff, just how important it is with pelvic floor issues.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Keep it tight in your hips or your upper back and expect your core to work right.
Right. So always go back to the basics. I've been doing that too. Basics are huge. Just like people want to get complicated with workouts and exercises, but you can get the basics of squats, or if you can handle lunges, I mean, they're going to be awesome for you. So just don't forget that. Those basics will be in place.
Well, and we've started, like, my husband's like doing all this different training for Spartan races. And so like he's trying to vary his up, and like now, like, so we've been working on slowing down and almost going as slow as possible just to engage all the muscles. Instead of trying to just rush through it and get it done, you could do 5 and want to cry.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, well, I know, Janine, I don't know when you need to go, but I know.
I need to go to sleep.
Nap. You need to nap your eyes.
My brain's like, I think I'm on overload. I want to shut down.
Your eyes do look tired today.
I'm very tired.
So, but I just want to make sure that we answer all your questions while we're here, any issues that are arising.
Yeah, I think what's happening is you guys have been such good students that, like, there's nothing left to go over. Good.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you don't need it. You're all still a work in progress. It just means you're understanding it.
Yeah. I've had to go back to my upper back thing like you were talking about this morning because I felt just the tension. It's also one of those mornings that I have to really remember to just kind of like roll and relax and take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been having to do the jaw thing a lot.
Yes.
Good.
Because I woke up yesterday and it felt like I had lockjaw or something. It was completely, I've never been that locked. I don't know what happened, but I know in the night I did wake up and I was grinding my teeth in the night. So I did all the stuff and I did the lay on the floor and make your feet do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped a lot. So
Good.
See, y'all are learning all the things that you need to do.
Yeah, again,
awesome.
You don't need us as much, so.
Yeah, y'all are doing great.
Awesome.
But we love you guys.
We love y'all. We do. I always get excited to come see y'all's faces. So, but yeah, if y'all have questions during the week, let me know and I'll pass them on to Janine, or we'll just, if I can do them, I will. If not, we'll figure it out. Dokie?
Sounds good.
All right.
Megan, are you good? Did you have something else you wanted to say?
actually kind of a question about my great uncle. I don't know if you have a second.
Go ahead.
He's got big time issues. He can't take a deep breath. And so I thought maybe the diaphragm release thing might help, but he's got other issues. So is that just something to hands off and not suggest, or?
Yeah, I would have to know why. Like, is it because he has COPD or asthma, or is it a mechanical structure thing?
He says he's really bloated, but he's a super skinny little stick of a man, and he had his gallbladder out, and after that things haven't been good.
He probably has adhesions.
Mm-hmm.
So those adhesions go up to the rib cage. So, getting help by somebody who does fascial work or visceral mobilization would be helpful for him.
I'll suggest a physical therapist because he doesn't want to go to another doctor.
A hands-on physical therapist that would actually release the tissues for him. Because they have to check. I mean, to blindly just tell him to do that without knowing anything else, he could make himself pass out. I mean, there's
right. Okay, well, I'll tell him.
Yeah, it's probably an adhesion issue. So his kidneys can't move up and down effectively because there's an adhesion on it from surgery.
And whoever hears about adhesion issues from doctors, not really ever.
They prescribed him a diuretic.
What's that?
They gave him a diuretic and told him to go home. So.
Write a book on adhesions, and I'm trying to finish it because it's something that's so overlooked. It just blows my mind. And now they're saying it's like this new organ that they found because they thought that it wasn't connected to the brain. Like somehow it was just a structure that we just wanted to get out of the way. And now we understand that it's a structure that's under neurological control. So just like your brain contracts your muscles, it can contract the fascia. So the brain after an injury or after surgery is going to try to guard and protect those tissues. So it actually contracts them like shrink wrap. And then it restricts blood flow and organ mobility and muscle mobility and nerves, and it can cause tugging, pain, all kinds of problems. So
Did you say you wrote a book on that?
did I say what?
Are you writing a book on that?
Oh, I started a book like 4 years ago.
I know.
Big chapter on Ephesians, but I'm
Okay.
trying to get done in my whole lot of time that I have.
I knew you had a book. I was like, is this another book you're doing? So
No, this is my original book that I just need somebody to put a spark up my, you know what.
here's your spark.
Oh, I'm trying. I felt like I was so passionate about it, and I'm getting there again because the people that are coming in with these problems, it's just unbelievable.
Adhesions. Wow.
My daughter had her appendix out at age 12, and she had a tight hip, and nobody knew what was wrong with her. I was like, she has adhesions. Sure enough, mobilize the adhesions, her hip opens up, she's fine. And the doctor,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, the doctor, the surgeon was like, oh, that can't happen. So he just didn't know. But their training is just, they repair what's broke, they fix it and diseased, and then, the rehab is, we're seeing the people who come in with the tightness after, so. But someday we'll understand it more. And one doctor says to me, well, I need an evidence-based study that works. Well, we're working on it. There's not a lot, just because it's very hard to study and research. It's not like an elbow, like range of motion of an elbow, or range of motion of a knee. It's very hard to study fascia. So then they've thrown it out, the baby out with the bath water, and just said, well, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. So.
Do you recommend going to just physical therapists for that, or like mild fascia tissue people that just?
Yeah, some physical therapists are trained in it, but there's also a lot of non-physical therapists, like massage therapists or other people who do body work that do that. So I just happen to, my background is physical therapy, so osteopaths, that kind of thing. So the work I do is more osteopathic, but it's hard because it's physical. So yeah, so the physical therapy model, if you're going somewhere where they just process your insurance and they're seeing 4 people at the same time, they don't have time to divide. So the medical model kind of messes it up and limits us from being able to do that. But then massage therapists who are collecting cash and have one-on-one with each person, one-on-one time, they actually have more time to do it. So we see people one-on-one here. Like, we don't have a factory where people are coming in and coming out. So we're not a high volume clinic. We're a one-on-one, one person at a time. So we actually have time to do that. But most physical therapists do not operate in this model. I'm like, I'm an outlier.
Just why we love you.
I'm way out of the box, so.
Yeah. Well, you go rest, Janine. You go rest for a minute, okay?
I have some of my paperwork done, so I'm going to catch up so we can get our billing out, and then we'll be good. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's any questions, just put it in the group, and we'll take care of it.
All right. Okay, bye, y'all.
Okay. All right, have a good day. All right, see you guys.